Hey, what is up, guys? It is Slikk, or Slickmoff here, back again with another video. And this is sort of an idea that I thought about today, and I figured I would share with you guys. And my thoughts on a DC-style game. Now, I said it could be Marvel, too, but for this instance, I'm talking about like a DC version of Overwatch. Now, if you don't know what Overwatch is, I think all of you do. Their animated shorts are extremely popular. It is, in essence, a superhero game. You don't really think about it in that sense, but they're all original characters they made up, that the team at Blizzard made up. It's a very fun game. It's a competitive first-person shooter sort of game. There's a whole character roster. It's sort of like League of Legends, but again, first person and a little bit different, but it is a MOBA in the sense that you have your character. There's like 3 abilities you have and your main sort of weapon, whether that be throwing things or shooting things or beating people up or, whatever. And I began to think about it. What if there was a game like this of 6v6 competitive multiplayer game? It's not massively multiplayer online or anything like this, but it is a multiplayer game and it's competitive. And you're seeing it on the screen, by the way, if you don't know what it is. What if there was a game like that for the DC or Marvel universe? Even better, DC versus Marvel. And I began to think about it, and a lot of the characters in the game already, if you know them, have strong parallels to existing DC heroes in particular. So I thought about it, and I'm like, May is basically Captain Cold. Like, she even has her little gun thing that shoots. Now, not to say they copied Captain Cold per se. I don't know. There's a lot of overlap because, again, Overwatch is a superhero game. There's only so many superpowers you can really make for people, or sort of abilities or cool things they can do. Anyway, so this character named May, she shoots ice out of her little gun and freezes people and turns into an icicle and stuff like that. So, Captain Cold or Mr. Freeze, whichever you prefer. You also have Winston, who's a big gorilla that jumps around and beats the shit out of you. It sounds a lot like Gorilla Grodd to me. Okay, Widowmaker is basically Deadshot or somebody like that. You have Hanzo, who shoots arrows. He's like Hawkeye. Okay, so you can have Hawkeye. And for all these characters, they have a main ability. So again, Hawkeye, or in this instance, Hanzo, he shoots arrows. Okay, we get that. But also other abilities. So like Hanzo, he can shoot like an arrow that'll show people on the map. He can shoot an arrow that'll bounce around everywhere and hit you. And you could just do all sorts of interesting things. With Green Arrow, you could have a close quarters ability, sort of like Injustice, where he spins his arrow around and beats the shit out of you with it. So you could do that as the R1 ability or something like that. Soldier 76 is like Rick Flag, or I was trying to think of some. I mean, there's not too many people in the DC universe that just have guns, and that is the thing about it. I mean, it's sort of tricky to do somebody like Superman or Wonder Woman. I think you could do Wonder Woman. It would be challenging. So at this point, we might have to go down a little bit and not include Superman or Batman. God forbid there's a DC game without Batman in it. I think we can survive. But you could do Batman. Think about it. If we're creating direct parallels here, which you don't have to do, they can, you can make up your own skill set. I'm just talking about direct links that are very obvious between Overwatch and DC characters. Genji, he throws these little, I don't know what they're like batarangs, I don't know, he throws these little star things, like ninja stars, and those could just be batarangs. Batman could just jump around everywhere and throw batarangs at people. That would be cool. Again, it's not like you can't glide around anywhere, stuff like that. There is a character in Overwatch that flies a little bit. It's like a jetpack sort of system. So you could do something like that if you nerf Superman really badly. So it's not impossible. He could have heat vision as the main ability. So you jump around, you press R2, you melt people. I mean, I think that would be cool. I think you can do that, to be honest with you. Again, the only problem at that point is he has to be relatively easy to kill if he can jump around and, laser beam people. But it's possible. You can do it. Whatever. Suspend your disbelief. Overwatch is a pretty goofy game, so I think we could pass for it. Roadhog, I began to think about it. He has this chain that he throws at you and pulls you in. That's kind of like Lobo. Okay, so just put him on a motorcycle as his super ability or whatever you want to call it. I already said Batman's kind of like Genji. So there is almost 10 characters that are pretty much have a very clear parallel between a DC hero. Now, others of them less so. It's not as clear. One of the big things about a lot of the Overwatch heroes is they do shoot something. They have a gun of some sort or some projectile system, which a lot of the DC heroes don't have. So I began to think about it, somebody like Tracer. Tracer can teleport around really quickly, high mobility, and she can shoot you with her dual handguns, okay? Now imagine this. Imagine that instead of that, you have somebody, oh, by the way, who's similar to a character named Lucio. Lucio can skate around everywhere. I don't know what he has, it looks like something from Back to the Future. He skates around everywhere, and he also has a gun, okay? So imagine Lucio, he moves quickly, by the way. That's his thing. He can move fast. So imagine that like the Flash, okay? So you can have like the Flash in the game. He moves faster than Lucio does, so faster. But you actually have to hit people like the Flash does. He doesn't have guns or anything like that. So you have more mobility. It's harder to hit him. You have to actually go up and hit somebody, though. And he, of course, can have abilities, you know, like his super could be like he runs around in a circle really fast and makes a tornado. All the characters, you know, it's good for like a hardpoint objective sort of thing. And there's actually some, well, maybe not, like kind of like May's ability, but instead of freezing them, it's like a tornado, because of course he can manipulate all sorts of things and create all sorts of things. The Flash can because he's so damn fast. So I don't know. I think this would be a cool game idea. Again, you could do DC versus Marvel. Probably not going to happen because, you know, DC and Marvel, they're so, like, I don't know, like pretentious, I guess is the best word about their own properties. I mean, I was in the comic book store today and I did see some Marvel versus DC comics. A lot of them looked really cheesy and bad. So not to say I would want that, but, you know, if nothing else at DC or just Marvel, you could just talk about Marvel. I think Marvel would actually probably be easier to do because more of the heroes are regular guys to start out, and they have some, you know, catastrophic event happen to them that turns them into a hero, i.e. Wolverine, Captain America, Spider-Man. With that being said, though, I still don't think it'd be easy to portray a character like Spider-Man in an Overwatch-like game, where all of the characters have to be balanced and have different strengths and weaknesses, which is the biggest problem, because in the DC universe, it's very evident that some heroes are more powerful than others. This is the way it is. Superman can melt the entirety of the Suicide Squad if he really wanted to, which is sort of the challenge of making comic books like Justice League versus Suicide Squad, making them make sense, right? Even so, I think that this game really would be fun, like a multiplayer DC game. Now, there is something along those lines called DC Universe Online, which is a fun game. It's a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like RPG, like grindy, you know, go around, beat up these guys, get XP, buy, you know, that sort of thing. This is not. This is like a multiplayer game. It's like a FPS, Call of Duty type game. A lot of people just cringe that I compared Overwatch to Call of Duty, but you can't really debate it. It's 6v6, shoot 'em up, you know, sort of stuff. But I think you could really do it. Again, the only sacrifice is that maybe you don't have Superman. You know, some of the most powerful, you know, I don't really see how you could do somebody like Green Lantern, because a lot of the characters in Overwatch do walk, and in order to have a balanced multiplayer, that is something you'd probably have to do. Or they could just rev up the intensity, just make it way more insane than the original game, and make this just like green, you know, people flying around everywhere. I mean, you could do it, not to say you couldn't. It would just be a bigger challenge, but I think this game would be really fun, and I just, you know, sort of began to think about it. Like in Overwatch, there's some really cool maps and some aesthetics of where you're playing, and you know that would just be tenfold on a DC game. I mean, no offense to Overwatch, but you know, just like a million times cooler. Overwatch takes place in the future, but you still can't beat playing on Krypton, or you know, like a map on Krypton or Gotham City. And there is sort of like a train, like a late night London map sort of stuff that has a cool vibe that reminds me of Gotham a little bit. Not quite as apocalyptic as Gotham probably should be, but anyway, a lot of the maps, I think you could just make them really, really cool in a DC-like Overwatch game. So just imagine, you know, 6v6, you comprise your team. It could be heroes and villains fighting alongside one another. I mean, think about it as well. I was just thinking about it. Genji, kind of like Katana, because Genji has a sword. He can reflect bullets, and he can, like, teleport around and shit like that. So that's like Katana, okay? I know I said he was like Batman, but, you know, they can make him two separate characters, so divide up Genji's skill set. And again, these are just the characters in Overwatch. That's not, if you get some smart game designers that know what the fuck they're doing, you could make up skill sets and the way things work for, you know, for that sort of thing. And again, it would be really cool. Like Lobo, his super ability when you press triangle, he pulls out the motorcycle and just plows through everybody. You know, Captain Cold, you could do the same sort of thing, or Mr. Freeze, or Killer Frost even, I don't care. You know, there's a lot of cold DC villains, I guess. You know, Winston, Gorilla Grodd, or Gorilla Grim, or whatever your favorite Gorilla City character is, you know, you can bring in. I just think it would be really cool. I would love that. It'd be an amazing game. Please do that. You know, nobody from WB or anything like that is watching this video, but still, I think it would be cool. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think that, well, I'm going to start rambling at this point, but you get the point. I mean, I think it'd be really cool because you could do like private matches with your friends or stuff like that, and you could like pick all villains. So like you could make the Suicide Squad or something like that, or just like a group of villains versus all heroes, or you could just make your own team that combines heroes and villains. And I just think that would be really cool because we do have Injustice where you fight 1 versus 1 and stuff like that. And you know, that's cool. I'm down with it. You know what I mean. And we even have Marvel vs. Capcom, where you can do 2 versus 2. Marvel here's 3 versus 3. Also very cool. But it's not really all at the same time, and it's not like in a not to say Marvel vs. Capcom's not AAA. It is AAA, but it's not like in the grandeur of a Overwatch. You know, an Overwatch is a huge game. You know what I mean. And even then you could get into the competitive scene of it being a competitive multiplayer game, which would just be really good marketing for DC, because people that, you know, learn more about these characters. And as I mentioned, this is a game that probably won't have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, but characters like Rick Flag and Lobo, I just said Logo, Lobo, you know, Captain Cold, and some B-list and C-list characters in there. You could do the Joker really easily. I mean, really easily. You know, just shoot a gun. I mean, Harley Quinn, you have to have Harley Quinn, because she's like the second most popular DC, you know, female hero at this point. So, I mean, really easy. You could do characters like that are on the ground and have regular weapons like the Joker, like Harley Quinn, insanely easily. Just with that, I mean, Deathstroke you could also do very easily, I think. With sort of like, you know, kind of play like Soldier 76 in that way. And, yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about this too much ahead of time. It's just something that sort of came to my head, and I figured I would give my thoughts on it in a commentary. So that's my pitch for an Overwatch-like DC Comics game. Let me know your thoughts about this video in the comment section below. Would you like to see this game? Do you think it'll ever happen? You know, I actually think that we could see something like this in the imminent future. You know, a 6 versus 6 superhero multiplayer game. I think it's possible. Again, DC Universe Online is the closest thing that we've gotten to it. It's not quite what I have in mind for this game, and it was something that I think would be really cool. And I would be fine with Blizzard making the game. Just give Blizzard over the, you know, the DC characters and let them make the game for you know, an Overwatch-like sequel. Again, not saying it's going to happen, but just a cool idea. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What would you change or add, or any ideas you have for the game? Leave it in the comment section below. It should be fun reading the comments in this one. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.